All right, I'll say, how are you all this evening of your time as you create time to exist? Are you all there? All right, thank you very much. We will begin this interaction this evening of your time with the entitlement, conscious creators. For understand, you always create your own reality. However, there are a variety of ways through which you do so. The ones that we will be interested in this evening of your time is unconsciously and consciously. The idea being that when you unconsciously create your own reality, you do not give yourself the opportunity in that sense, being that you are automatic creators, to be cognizant of the fact that you are creating it. In that sense, you may use the analogy that when you unconsciously create your reality, that it may at times take on the seemingness of what you label in your language a runaway train. But do understand that you are even creating that. And therefore, even though it is unconscious, or shall we say, not according to preference, you are still in that way creating it. Now, it is quite simple from our perspective to create your reality consciously, to be aware of the fact that you are creating it, and then continue to create it according to preference. For when you unconsciously create it, there is not, shall we say, the distinction made between creating a preferential reality and an unpreferential one. For it is unconscious and therefore automatic and at the whims of what you and your society have been ingrained to believe in your life. The belief systems that have been presented to you, that you have bought into, which in and of themselves may not necessarily serve you according to preference. Now, these ideas always serve you regardless of whether you feel you prefer them or not. But what we are speaking of here is getting in the driver's seat, if you will. Beginning to create your reality consciously. This does again always begin by owning the reality that you already have created unconsciously. For again, you can only change something if you will own it first. You cannot change what you will not own. So always again, beginning to take responsibility for the reality you have created and allowing yourself to admit to yourself the limiting beliefs that you have will always be a beginning place in that way. This evening of your time, however, we will impart to you, by way of what you may label a technique, a way in which to, shall we say, organize your creatorhood. A way to make it intentional, preferential, and so that you are very clear about it, you do in fact define what it is you desire to create. The universe will always continue to provide you with everything that is necessary to continue to create your reality, both unconsciously and consciously. The mechanism that you have, shall we say, participated in up till now, many of you, is allowing the universe to provide that support to your unconscious creations. And what this has the seemingness of is that reality is happening to you. Why is this happening to poor little old me? The idea is you can again grab, if you will, your creatorhood by the tail. What we will again express this evening is what you may call in 3 phases of awareness. We very much like the number 3 and therefore do things in triads. Therefore, we will begin with the first, if you will, phase of awareness to creating your reality, manifesting the reality you prefer in a conscious way. So therefore, again, allow me to continue. The first phase in that sense of awareness is when you wish to create a reality that you do prefer, that you have clear intention. What this means is that you will be willing in that way to define your intentions clearly, precisely. Now, we have shared with your society, when asked, what is your purpose in life, that an individualized gauge of any individual's purpose is your excitement, functioning from within integrity according to that which excites you. Excitement, again, is an arrow. It is your indication that the thing you are excited about is, in fact, the thing most representative of what it is you chose to be in this lifetime consciously. So therefore, you may look at excitement as your barometer, as your arrow. And if you will, in defining your clear intention, use your excitement, you will then be granting yourself that which you have chosen to experience, chosen to create in your life. If you will, in that sense, define your intentions by what you perceive to be your obligations, you will continue to create more obligations. If you will begin to recognize that you can function within your excitement, then you will begin to create more excitement. So therefore, our first suggestion when defining your clear intention is to do so through your excitement. Again, allow me for but a moment the distinction between the most exciting thing you feel you will ever do. That is one, in a sense, representation of excitement. And in any given moment from what's available right in front of you, choosing by granting yourself the validity with your excitement. That makes a statement to the universe that you are willing to now be the you chose to be before becoming physical. The universe, again, has always supported you. You have always had what you have needed when you have needed it. When you begin to function from your excitement, it will support you no less. In fact, it will allow you to continue to be that you most fully, thereby providing not only all the abundance, not only that thing will be most effortless, but then leading you to the next most exciting thing. So if the most exciting thing you can think of that you will ever do is not immediately accessible, the way to proceed to that exciting thing, even though it seems entirely unrelated, is by in any given moment choosing from your excitement, granting yourself at least that. Because all your excitement, anything you are excited about in your life is a true representation of who you chose to be. They are related. It is all in that sense one large excitement. So therefore, even though the events may seem to be unrelated, the overall category of energy makes it the shortest distance between 2 points. All that one excitement. So therefore, what enters now into it is being willing in that way to trust your excitement. To trust that it is, again, within integrity, a representation of who you are. And by granting yourself the opportunity to be very clear about what your intention is, then you have fulfilled in that way the first phase of awareness, clear intention. We will now move on to the second phase, which has 3 subdivisions. You may call them, if you wish, 3D. The idea is clear definition, clear desire, and clear deservability. When speaking of clear definition, allow us now to define clear definition. Recognize that you create your reality through your actions. However, you determine your actions from your belief systems. In that sense, your belief systems are the definitions of that you hold about your life, about reality. Therefore, begin now to grant again yourself the opportunity to become very clear in what your definitions are. For again, when you own them, you can change them. When you will reflect back on your clear intention, you may now wish in that way to establish what would need be the definitions that one would need have in order to accomplish that clear intention. This will allow you to hone in on which beliefs you have that will support that clear intention, and also allow you to call to the forefront, if you will, the beliefs that are limiting you from that intention. So thereby, definition will be your belief systems necessary to fulfill your clear intention, but also in that sense, whereas clear intention is what it is you desire to do, clear definition falls into the category of how you can right now begin to do that thing. So therefore you, by establishing your clear definition on how you will proceed, crystallize your manifestation still further. By being willing to look at the definitions that you hold that may limit you from that intention, you can then very simply decide consciously, by consciously commanding it to change to the new belief. Clear desire is necessary because your emotions, energy motions, are the activating mechanisms in your life. In that sense, they are what make things move, what motivates you to move. Therefore, desire in that sense, having clear desire, enables you emotionally to activate, put out, if you will, to the universe, that clear intention, those clear definitions. So therefore, be willing in that sense, once having established your clear intentions, clear definitions, to allow yourself to muster up the desire. Really feel it, for that is, again, energy in motion, an activating mechanism to begin to initiate the momentum from the universe. Clear deservability, the third D, if you will, is, shall we say, a common stumbling block in your society. For the idea is that the notion arises whereby individuals do not truly believe they deserve to exist, do not truly believe that they deserve to have desires fulfilled. Do understand that this in and of itself is simply a belief system. When you buy into it, you will create that effect. You will feel that you do not deserve and seem to get the evidence to support it. But when you are willing to view, examine, that you may be feeling in that sense unworthy of your excitement, do not deserve that desire, understand, obviously, God, or what we prefer to call all that is, thinks you deserve to exist. If you will but reflect for a moment, you cannot come up with anything that you needed to do in order to exist. Therefore, all that is must feel that you unconditionally deserve to exist, and thereby create that which you desire within integrity. Treat yourself with the same respect. Allow yourself to understand that you do, by definition, because you have created yourself to be here, deserve existence, deserve to have desires fulfilled. And in that sense, do not need to earn worthiness. You already are worthy. And the only thing preventing you from experiencing that reality is your definition that you are not. Understand, once you are willing to plug in the definition that you do indeed deserve, you will then get the evidence to support that reality, that belief. For any belief system comes along with a self-sustaining system of logic, a self-sustaining system of evidence. Remember, believing is seeing and not the other way around. So you will always see, always get the evidence for that which it is that you most truly believe. Therefore, you can change the evidence anytime by being willing to change the belief. And then act that way, which brings us in that way to the third phase of awareness. Once you have established clear intention, clear desire, clear deservability, clarifying your definitions about how to proceed and what you already believe, then you move on to clear action. Action, again, is the energy which creates the reality. By moving clearly, precisely, moving with, in that sense, the conviction about what you are doing, that is all it takes to create the reality you prefer. Having again defined and clarified most clearly within the first two phases of awareness. So therefore, understand what we are conveying. Clear intention, I. Clear definition, desire, and deservability, D. And clear action, A, I-D-A. And this is the idea of which we speak. Therefore now recognize it is all within your grasp. You are already creating it anyway. If you will be willing to clarify, to define, to precisely nail down where it is you wish to go, then the universe will have the blueprint it needs to provide it. When you are a bit vague and feel you do not deserve your excitement and in fact won't even admit it to yourself, what does the universe have in that sense to go on? Again, abundance from our perspective is simply the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, period. And therefore, in any given moment, you always have that ability. If you will broaden your definition of abundance as a limiting factor, to understand that that ability need not come in money, you will then open yourself up to the other possibilities in which it can present itself. And present itself, it will. It always has, always will. Just that individuals in your society have, shall we say, a rather persistent insistence that if it does not come via the symbol of money, they will not validate the abundance. But it is no less abundance. And when you will begin to accept your abundance in any way, shape, or form that it will come, you will vibrate as a being who accepts unconditionally your abundance. This, paradoxically again, usually then brings in the money, being that that is a symbol of abundance. But when you are fixating on that symbol as the only way you will accept your abundance, you shut down the entire mechanism. Therefore, recognize the last stage or step of which we spoke. Clear action. Everything that we do convey to your society will only be, quote unquote, provable by you in action. We cannot, and in fact do not wish to, in any way, shape, or form, convince you that what we are saying is true. I can, however, 100% guarantee you, if you will do it, you will create the reality that it is true. Therefore, what I am saying is, although I cannot and do not even desire to prove it to you at this timing, you are always able to prove it to yourself in any given moment. You recreate yourself in any given moment, anyway. One of the, shall we say, definitions of this reality you are choosing to experience is the idea of time. Each discrete moment of creation, you, shall we say, string together with what you label continuity. And this gives the illusion of timing, time. Thereby recognize you can, at any given moment, being that you are always in any moment, creating yourself anew, place a new definition of yourself within the, shall we say, formula that you define yourself to be. The way in that given moment to then sustain that reality is to simply act as if it is already so. That is all. Therefore, allow us now to place a bit more emphasis on the A, clear action step. that will always be the one in that sense which will bring the results you say you desire. Therefore, that is a bit in your society to chew upon. And we will allow you to ponder it. And also, thank you and express our love and appreciation for your willingness to continue to interact with us. For you are sparkling examples to us of just that many more ways in which all that does express itself throughout the multiverse. For this, we express our appreciation and ask you now, how may I be of service to you? Sharing